Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a long-form, text-to-speech friendly deep dive about Mahesine and Cenk, two names you know, two careers you follow, and one very personal decision that has become impossible to ignore. If you enjoy this kind of detailed storytelling, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. You can also tap the join button to support the channel. Thank you, and let us begin. The story starts quietly, not with a red carpet moment or a dramatic scene from a set, but with a simple, carefully framed statement. Cenk, Torun, known for the intensity he brings to complicated men on screen, chose his words with care and said what many couples struggle to say out loud: he has been unhappy in his marriage and is moving toward a separation. There was no attack, no blame, no late-night tirade. Just a steady voice acknowledging that sometimes love and daily life stop walking in the same direction. Because this is the entertainment world, those few sentences moved at the speed of light. Headlines multiplied. Social media split into camps. Some read pain between the lines, others read relief. Many asked the same question in different ways: what happened behind the curtain, and what happens now? Before we go further, a reminder about tone, because tone matters here. We are talking about real people with real careers and a very real private life. Nothing you'll hear in this video is meant to sensationalize their choices or assign guilt. Instead, think of this as a map: how we got here, what we can responsibly infer, how the decision reframes both their work and their public image, and why the conversation around mental well-being in relationships matters as much for actors as it does for everyone else. Let us rewind. Professionally, both Mahesine and Cenk have been visible and busy, especially with Esaret, the series that sharpened their profiles and gave audiences a weekly reason to analyze glances, pauses, and unsaid words. When two performers carry a show that trades in emotional storms, viewers often assume the off-screen bond is just as dramatic. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. What we know is that their on-set collaboration was disciplined and productive. They showed up prepared, trusted the material, trusted each other's timing, and delivered scenes that made people stay up late to talk. Off-set, the timeline is more private, as it should be. We saw normal moments in a public life: a photo from a press day, a laugh during an interview break, a supportive repost when an episode landed well. None of that foretells the interior of a marriage. But here's what Cenk's statement did reveal without breaching privacy: living under a spotlight does not immunize anyone from the slow drift that sometimes happens in long relationships. You can have a strong resume and still feel weak at home. You can be adored by strangers and still miss the feeling of being understood by the one person who matters most. When someone says, "I am no longer happy in my marriage," the sentence sounds simple. It isn't. It is usually the last line of a chapter written over months or years: tiny disappointments that piled up quietly, schedules that never aligned, apologies that solved yesterday but not tomorrow, the wrong conversation repeated in different rooms. Sometimes there is a final straw, sometimes there is only the realization that every straw is starting to feel like the last one. How did the industry react with what looked like genuine empathy? Colleagues praised Cenk's candor rather than punishing it. A few noted that actors are paid to reveal emotions through characters, rarely do they reveal them as themselves. The measured tone of his acknowledgement: no narrative of betrayal, no game of heroes and villains, was read as a sign of respect for Mahesine and for the shared history they have, regardless of what the legal next steps will be. In a culture that can sometimes confuse privacy with secrecy, the restraint earned him credit. And what about Mahesine? She has not turned her feed into a confessional. That choice is a statement in itself. Silence is not indifference, silence is sometimes the only safe container for feelings still taking shape. If you have followed her work, you know she is precise on camera and discreet away from it. Expect more of the same, show up, do the job, keep the personal personal. That is not a denial of reality, it is a boundary. Now, to the question that fans of Esaret are asking, what will this mean for the show in the short term? Probably nothing dramatic. Productions are puzzle machines. Scripts are written, schedules are locked, crew is booked months ahead. Professionalism often means bringing your whole heart to a scene even when your heart is tired. This is where craft matters. On screen, Cenk knows how to play a man whose composure slips and then reforms. Off screen, he now has to live that process without a director's cut. It would not be surprising if his performances carry a new texture, less theatrical thunder, more authentic quiet. Sometimes life sharpens technique in ways school never could. If the series chooses to echo real life with a storyline about separation, it will be a creative decision, not a voyeuristic one. The best shows use fiction to metabolize pain, turning private storms into art that helps other people feel seen. But the writers are under no obligation to bind the actors' lives to their characters. Whether Esaret mirrors this moment or moves in a completely different direction, the audience would do well to allow the work to be the work. Let us talk about the social media reaction in more detail, because it tells us something about the broader conversation. The first wave looked like this: shock, sympathy, and curiosity in equal parts. Then came the second wave: advice, unasked for and often unhelpful. Fight for it. Don't give up. You'll regret it. You deserve better. The problem with these slogans is that they assume knowledge none of us have. Love is not a comments section. It is a private contract negotiated daily by two people who know every clause and every loophole. A healthier third wave is taking shape now, a focus on mental well-being and the removal of stigma around ending a marriage that no longer sustains those inside it. The question is not, who failed? The question is, what does it take to leave with dignity for public figures? That includes decisions about what to say, when to say it, and how to protect families from being turned into plot points. That Cenk framed his words around personal responsibility. I am not happy, and I'm choosing honesty rather than public accusation is, frankly, rare. It sets a tone that makes healing possible instead of war inevitable. Will there be a legal filing soon? Will we get more details? No one outside their inner circle can answer that, and fishing for documents may get clicks, but it does not get us closer to compassion. What we can responsibly anticipate is the practical work that always follows a split: rebalancing calendars, renegotiating obligations, discovering how to be colleagues if work requires it, discovering how to be strangers if distance is healthier. The unglamorous parts are where character is revealed, not the speech, but the next 100 small choices after the speech has been forgotten. There is also the matter of legacy. Careers as long and visible as Mahessine's and Cenk's are made of seasons. Some seasons are about ascent, some about endurance, some about reinvention. A separation does not erase what came before, and it does not pre-write what comes next. If anything, it often clarifies instinct. Actors choose scripts more carefully. They say yes to projects that honor the life they are building, not the image they are maintaining. Don't be surprised if you see both of them gravitate toward material with quieter moral weight, stories about consequence, responsibility, forgiveness, and the kind of courage that doesn't look heroic on a poster. As supporters, what should we do? Keep watching the work if the work moves you. Resist the urge to write fan fiction about their private lives. Remember that two truths can live side by side. They built something together that mattered, and now they are building something apart that also matters. If you want to leave a comment, make it kind. Wishing you peace goes farther than explain yourself. To close, let us return to the first sentence we heard from Cenk, the one that sent the conversation into orbit. I am no longer happy in my marriage. There is a lot contained in that final period. Grief for what could have been. Gratitude for what really was. Hope, however fragile, that honesty opens a door the future can walk through. In celebrity culture, we often demand to know everything and then punish people for giving us anything real. Today, the better response is simpler: acknowledge the courage it takes to speak plainly, and leave space for both of them to find the next, steadier chapter. If you found this thoughtful approach helpful, please like the video, subscribe for more measured storytelling, and share this with someone who appreciates nuance over noise. In the comments, tell me what you'd like us to analyze next: the craft of handling heavy storylines on set, the logistics of maintaining professionalism during personal upheaval, or the way audiences can support artists without trespassing on their lives. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.